What's going on, good people? Welcome back to another episode of B Wayne Presents, sponsored by Promarketize. Don't just advertise, Promarketize. As always, I'm your host, B Wayne, and I'm here today with Samantha. What's up, Samantha?
Not much. What's up with you?
I am doing very well. It's so funny. I came across Samantha on IG. Her page is super duper cool. She's very enthusiastic and fun. I would love to like share it with you guys, but I can't do that. So you should just connect with her. You'll be able to tell how much of a riot she is from the video. What's going on, young lady? How are things?
Good, just doing the single mom thing, but trying to kill it every day.
I can imagine. I'm sure you are
Yeah.
a hoot as a mommy as well. To that beautiful young lady of yours who will be turning
Thank you.
another age here very soon. You got any
Yes,
plans for her
yes.
B-Day? You got plans? Anything special?
Yeah, we're throwing a combo party with our new house and our and her birthday party because the party and her birthday are 4 days apart. And my birthday as well is a week and a half before the housewarming. Her birthday is like a week after the housewarming, so we're just doing like a mother-daughter housewarming combo party. Um, Fun fact, and I learned this on IG, you can order Dippin' Dots, which everybody knows what those are, in bulk.
You can order in bulk. Are you
Yes.
going to be
So
ordering in bulk?
I have ordered 2 bags for my party, and it's going to be so much fun.
That is awesome. And I didn't know you housewarming, you just got a new place?
Yeah, so we are moving from a lovely 2 bedroom apartment with 3 dogs to a 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath house with a massive big yard for the dogs.
That's awesome.
Um, yeah, so I'm excited. It'll be a great lifestyle change, give us more room, really make us feel like we're starting a new life and not in a temporary hold.
Congratulations. That is
Thank
awesome.
you. Yeah.
Especially in this with the economy being what it is, kind of weird for some, kind of a little bit scary. People, a lot of anticipation as to how things are going to be moving. So that's a pretty big deal. Congratulations, really. That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Samantha, please, if you would, tell the good people how old you are and where you're located.
I am in North Carolina. I've been here for 32 years. 34? Oh, crap. 34 years, almost 35, because in a few days I'm turning 37.
Hey, and she's so close to being an Aries. She was so close, but Team Taurus, whatever. We're right there side by side. So shout
Yeah,
out
yeah.
to you on your birthday. Do you have any special plans for yourself, or you're just gonna do the tag team thing with the
No,
baby?
I have to have a little bit of attention on just myself.
Yes, you
So
do.
I'm doing a big dinner with a bunch of my friends. Just not. I usually throw a giant party. Pardon my dog. Usually throw a massive party with like 40, 50 people. This year we're due at a venue. This year we're just doing a casual dinner at a local restaurant, and so far my head count's at like 25, which is amazing because so many of these people I haven't seen in a while and they just want to, not only celebrate my birthday, but just be there to support me in everything I've gone through.
Awesome. Will there be adult beverages?
Duh. What kind of question is that?
We definitely support adult beverages here at B Wayne Presents. Drink responsibly, everyone. Samantha, let's get to know you a little bit. What
Okay.
is a day in the life of Samantha like?
Exhausting, but um I have my apartment set up as a smart apartment, so at 5 a.m. my lights go on. I usually
That's
roll out
pretty
of
cool.
bed around 5:30, start cleaning up, getting breakfast ready, getting just the house tidy, taking the dogs out. My daughter wakes herself up around 7 or so by herself, and she'll come out and she'll tell me how her sleepies were, and she'll come hang out with the dogs, and we have breakfast and we decide what we're going to do that day, if it's going to be an adventure of some sort or if it's a day she has school, if I have to get her ready for school. But those are the weeks that I have her. um, And when I drop her off to school, I come home and I work. I get things done around the apartment. I get errands done. I do things for myself, such as going in yesterday, I got a pedicure. So I try to do things for myself, hang out with my dogs. And I have a job, so I actually have to work, but I work from home. So it's very flexible. Days I don't have my daughter, the only difference is I don't have to figure something else to do with her. I do basically the norm, still wake up at 5, still take care of the dog, still make sure that everything's perfect. Like I like to have my place guest ready so that if anybody were to show up, I'm not embarrassed about the state of it. And even though it's a 2-bedroom apartment, that doesn't mean that I can live in a squallows.
Right.
So, yeah, my life is pretty straightforward, pretty simple. I work out on a regular basis. If it's a day that I have my daughter, then I have to work out when she's in school. If it's a day I don't have my daughter, then I can work out whenever. I do Pilates, yoga, kickboxing, yeah, and cycling. So yeah,
Stay pretty active, pretty fit. And you have a very you're slim athletic build, so it's obvious that you work out pretty hard
I
and pretty
try.
consistent.
I have to. I have a joke that my goal in life is to be that hot MILF on the beach that all the other wives are like slapping their husbands and boyfriends because they're staring at me. I know that
Right.
sounds shallow, but I used to be a lot chunkier and I never got looks. And so now that I'm taking care of myself, I look good, I'm confident about how I look. Go ahead and look. And I'm sorry if your significant other isn't confident enough or has self esteem issues, but maybe work on yourself. Like, I'm trying to make the world a better place.
And man, that's what eyes are for, right? They're for looking.
Exactly. Yeah.
What what if you don't want to discuss what you do specifically, can you tell what industry you're in?
Yeah, so I work in branding development. So I work with SMBs on developing their company's brand and creating creative outlets and strategies for marketing that brand. But most of the time, when people approach to a marketing firm or agency or anybody who does marketing, they'll tell them what they want, and it's not necessarily what they need. But if they don't know who they are, you can't really do squat. And your brand is more than your logo. So we developed the whole soul and embodiment of a company before we touch anything marketing, sales, advertising, any of that sort. I've been doing it for 15 years. My company just celebrated 10 years. So yeah, I like to think that what I do is good. We've worked with like 150 plus brands in 10 years, in 5 countries. So yeah, I love what I do and I think I'm good at it.
Very cool, very dope. So is that what you did you go to school for that? Did you always know you wanted to be involved in that, or did you kind of just fall into that? How did that work?
Yeah, it was an accident that I fell into it. I went to school for psychology, actually animal psychology. I was going to be a veterinarian, so all my research is in animal-human interactions and that fun jazz. I after graduating or right before graduating, I decided I didn't want to be a vet 3 months before graduating, and so I had to find a new career path. And I started doing sales. And then one day I got invited to my parents' best friend's house, not knowing what was going on. So my mom drove me, even though I was like 23 at the time, 22. I was so hungover, sitting at their kitchen table. And they're talking about their company, and it's just going over my head. And then they offered me a job as their marketing manager. And that was my first toe dipping into the industry of marketing. And I've been doing it ever since.
Wow. So they offered you that not based on your resume, obviously, but like more just your personality type and
Well, their words, which are embodied in my soul, are we've known you for 10 years and you fail at most of the things you try, but you get up
wowzers.
every single time. You are resilient. And that is what we need at our company is somebody who's okay with getting knocked down, shut down, and they get right back up again and try something different or try harder.
I love it.
And yeah, it took me 3 months to convince a tech company to get a Twitter, but they said no the first time. I, in my soul and my knowledge, knew they needed a Twitter as a tech company, now X. And so I spent 3 months researching missed opportunities on Twitter, and I found thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars that they missed out on simply by not having a Twitter. And when
Wow.
I presented the data, they're like, oh, crap, can you get us an account
Hmm.
today?
Hmm.
So, yeah, it was, I got knocked down. I got the answer no. And in my heart, I knew they needed it. So I found a different way around it so I could get a yes. So I am very resilient. You can knock me down all you want, but I'm getting right back up again. I might fall off a horse, but I'm jumping on it and getting over that hurdle the next time.
Do you remember that song? I get knocked down, but
Knocked
I get up
down
again.
and I get up again. It's never gonna keep me down. That was Chumbawamba.
Yeah. Oh
Chumbawamba.
wow. Very good. And that's a little bit before your time too.
No, it's
So
not.
to you,
No, it's
oh,
not.
you're
That
right.
was
You
totally
don't
my
think
time.
so? Was that your
Totally my
time? Was
time.
that the like the midst of your time?
That was about the midst of it. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just super old. So it says a lot about failure, being able to handle failure, deal with it, face your fear, face the fear of failure, and being able to go in on something anyway. It's kind of a big deal. It's
Yeah.
kind of like a prerequisite for success, right?
It is. And ironically, you say that. I've done a lot of speaking engagements, and my topic of preference for different groups is failing your way to success.
Mhm.
Because I like to joke that I'm a professional failure. And I guess I am a professional failure, but to me, I don't look at failure as a failure because everything that you fail at is merely an opportunity to learn from.
Yep.
So, welcome failure, be okay with it, embrace it, and learn from it. Otherwise, it's only going to ever be a negative thing. And
Hmm.
negativity is prevents success.
Hmm. It's funny. I saw a YouTube, some type of clip reel from Will Smith, and it was about 10 years ago. And he was basically like, you have to learn to embrace failure and like live in it, live in that space where it's just like it's okay, it's fine. Because you don't think about, you see all the success stories of, Amazon, and maybe even your CEO or and founder, or Coke, or Oprah, or whomever, right? And how they made it and where they are, but for whatever reason, they don't really like to talk a lot about what they had to go through to get there. How many times they got told no, how many times, they didn't know where the money was going to come from. There's only one person, they need five in this department. They've got one, but they had to overcome all of these obstacles in order to become resilient enough to handle the opportunity once it was presented to them. I think that's pretty awesome.
Absolutely. And I did something for Career Builder once, and it was maybe no, probably about 7 years ago. And I calculated how many jobs I had applied to and how many I had actually been given offers to. It was well in the 200s of jobs that
Mm,
I had applied to, and I had been offered two out of 200 jobs.
right.
And that's not to say I'm not good at what I do. That's just to tell you how many failures, how many times I didn't even get an interview. So, I find that people tend to trust and respect a little bit more those people who are honest and
Yeah.
tell them when stuff sucks and when they're down and when they're failing because it humanizes who you are. I mean, if you only talk about the great stuff, then that almost gives off an air of fake.
Right.
Because nobody's got a perfect life. Nobody only succeeds. I don't care what the public eye tells you. It's not true. And so I own up to my mistakes. I own up to my failures. I say it how it is because that's how this is going to sound weird, but that's how people like me and why people like me
Hmm.
because I don't sugarcoat. I don't beat around the bush. I have enough stuff going on in my life. I don't have the patience, the bandwidth, or the capability right now to carry on any sort of facade for people in the world. Like I'm just going to be me. I'm really good at it. So plus everybody else is taken, so I might as well be
Correct.
myself.
Correct. There's nothing, nobody can do you like you, right? And there's something to be said for authenticity, authenticity and transparency, and just being your genuine self, being who you really are, being able to be comfortable in your skin, which you're obviously very comfortable in your skin. And let's talk a little bit more about that. Let's go into a little bit more detail. Let's talk about who you are on a more personal level. What do you like as far as your downtime? What do you do to relax? What's your go-to for amusement? what do you like to engage in when you're not doing your marketing thing and you're not necessarily and not when you're being a mommy, but just for Samantha,
Right.
what do you like to
Yeah.
do
So
for you?
three things. Three things come to mind. Naturally, working out, exercise. That Legally Blonde movie that said, working out releases endorphins. Endorphins make you happy, and happy people don't shoot their husbands. I did not shoot my husband. So working out clearly helps. Um,
Absolutely.
the other thing is, I actually really like organizing and cleaning. That's why I take such good care of my apartment and my home because I I find peace at things being in their proper place. So even if it's taking all my socks out of the drawer, pairing them up, and then stacking them in the drawer, that brings me calmness and peace. The other thing is my dorky nerd thing, and I am a huge Potterhead. Like, not pothead, Potterhead. I love Harry Potter. So whenever I need background noise or I'm stressed or even if I'm sad, I turn on Harry Potter the movie and it just turns my whole day around. Even though I could probably recite every single film, I can recite most of the books. I just it brings me just solace and that everything's going to be okay. But I'm like a really big Potter nerd and I'm okay with it.
Is it just the original, or could it be any one of of out of the series that you turn on that you may happen to turn on that day?
Oh, any of them, really. I mean, I listen to the books on tape in my car when I'm driving, and I'll listen to all of them in the car because every time I listen to them, I discover new things that I missed the last time because I'm paying attention more in depthly, rather than just looking at the over encompassing story. But I for the movies, my go-to is probably the first one.
Okay.
I've had days where I watch the first one 4 times in a day. And it just, even if it's just background noise while I'm cooking or cleaning or doing whatever, it just, it makes me happy.
Right. No, I get it. I'm a sci-fi fantasy dude myself, but my go-to is Stargate.
Okay,
Um,
I remember that.
Stargate and Stargate
Stargate
Atlantis.
SG-1. That's the one I used
You
to watch
got
with
it.
my dad.
You got it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'll anything with the pretty much anything with the word star in it. Stargate, Star
Or
Wars.
Trek, Star
Uh
Wars.
yeah, anything there's another one. Not Battlestar Galactica, but there's another one. Stargate, Star Wars, Star Trek. Yeah, Stargate, Star Wars, Star Trek. So
Yep.
I'm about that life. But I also love, Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and all that jazz. Like
Yeah.
I love fantasy and sci-fi. So I get it. I never
Yeah.
really got too big. I watched Harry Potter. I'm aware of Harry Potter. I love the background story. The author,
J.K. Rowling.
there you go, who basically, went another success story. Started out like a single mom, think she was on welfare, and she wrote the books and now hey, rest is
Yeah.
history. If I'm not
I
mistaken, she's
think
like a
she was
billionaire.
I was gonna say, I think she's the first author to ever be a billionaire. But yeah, her story's amazing, and she was much older than I was when she started
Right.
writing the series.
I think
That
she was
just
close to
tells
like my
you,
age.
yeah, I think so. She was definitely older than me. But what I love about it is that she stood her ground and she wrote this amazing story. But if I recall properly, she wrote the first book partially, like she started it on a train on a napkin. Like the thoughts came to her and she wrote it on a napkin on a train. I could be mistaken, but I swear that's how the series really started.
Right.
But when it came out, I remember waiting at midnight at Barnes and Noble for books to come out. And I just, those are my memories of Harry Potter, is listening to the books on tape and running out my cassette tapes and waiting at midnight for the book to come out and then reading it in like 2 days.
That's kind of your happy place right there.
Absolutely. Like, you just see my smile when I talk about Harry Potter. So dorky, and I'm okay with it.
We love Dorky. Let's talk a little bit
I'm
about
adorkable.
let's talk a little bit about we're gonna slide over here to the side of your personal life and discuss so how long have you been single?
So I walked out of my husband in October. So, very beginning of October, well, September, I called it quits. And then I jumped on a plane to Germany for 10 days, which was a good idea because he needed time to decompress. He was not happy. He acted like he didn't see it coming, but come on. Um, but so, since I moved down on October 9th, and I am more stressed than I've ever been in my life, but I am happier than I have been in years. Like, I can't explain the oxymoron that is stress beyond belief, but happy and almost welcoming the stress, because I know it means that I made the right decision for me and especially my daughter. And I am doing what needs to be done, because if this were all easy, it wouldn't be as rewarding. And so seeing the condition and the happiness and joy of my daughter, and knowing in my heart that everything's working out, and people coming out of the woodwork to support me, and just having people step up and be there for me, it's been amazing. Like, I love it. I absolutely love it.
Do you and your are you and your ex able to co-parent fairly effectively?
Co-parent? Yes. Communicate? No.
Well, communication will become less and less necessary as she grows. But as long as you can do what's necessary for her, then that
Yeah.
works. Are you looking to and it's still early. Are you open to getting married again, or is marriage off the table, or how do you what are your thoughts on that? Or it's just too soon now?
No, I'm not going to say it's off the table. I'm just going to be a lot more cautious on dating and getting married someday, because my ex-husband and I actually got engaged on our 4-month anniversary. So 4 months from our first date to the day he bought us a house and proposed in that house that night. How do you say no to that? But having said that, we went from dating for 4 months to being engaged for a year and a half to being married. So we never had that dating, that courting, that get to know you stage. So
Right.
we've never been friends. Like, we've said that we've been roommates since nearly day one. And then later on, we became new roommates who had a kid together. But that's the biggest thing that I'm going to focus on, with future relationships, is friendship first. Like, if
Uh,
we're not friends, it's not going anywhere. I've already tried the just be romantic partners. It doesn't
yeah.
work. It
No.
doesn't. And anybody who I ask, like, what's your biggest tip for making a relationship work? They all say the same thing. All of them say you need to be with your best friend. You need to be
Hmm.
friends with them. One of my closest friends, it was his birthday the other day, and I said, I hope your wife is treating you right. And he goes, of course she is. I married my best friend. And that
Yeah.
just really hit close to me, because I've never had a significant other that was my friend or my best friend. We were romantic partners only. And so that's what I'm focusing on in future relationships, is friendship first. That's it. That's the foundation of any relationship. And most people skip that and forget that.
They made dozens of love songs about being a friend, and the next time she'll be a friend, and having your friend, and I always it sounded good, but I always wondered what the purpose, what the point was. Like, why is this so important? Like, I get it, it sounds like it makes sense, but I'm the type of guy, like, I need to understand the why of a thing, and then you
Mhm.
get older and you understand that you're there there are things that you're able to share with your friend that you can't necessarily share with your lover.
True.
There's a way to express yourself and articulate yourself and be open and be vulnerable and be honest with a friend, because there's less judgment, and
Right.
there's not the fear, well, will they reject me or will they still accept me, because this is my friend, and you can get away with a lot more with a friend, and you can take that same principle along the journey of that relationship. And when you do days you don't have anything, those days you don't look super hot, days he doesn't look super cute, days where you're maybe a little bit upset because, you left the clothes out again, or she did, this or that, the way she said that wasn't really cool. You still have that friendship that you can fall back on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So that's my thing, is I'm not closed off to getting married again, but I am focused on being a friend, having a friend.
What about kids? Are
Oh,
you open to
hell
more?
no.
No more?
Well, I'll inherit children. I have no problem having a stepchild, having multiple stepchildren. That doesn't bother me. I will never turn down a man solely because he has children. I don't think that's fair. I have children. I've always felt that way, that if I ever dated or married a divorced man or a single dad, if he had kids, it's not a deal breaker. That's not fair. I personally, you could not pay me enough zeros to have another child. Literally,
No
not enough
more.
zeros. I got one and done. She's absolutely perfect. I got my girl. She's perfect. I'm done. I got dogs and my daughter.
And we didn't even talk about pets. I mean, we see the dogs in the background, but are you like,
Well,
does,
that reminds me. I've got a
pardon me,
dog. I'm going to talk while the dog is locked in my bedroom right now and she's scratching at the door.
do your thing.
No, but that means she's going to hop on the couch and you'll get to see
Okay.
her. So I have, now they're playing. So
How
I
many do you,
have a King Charles Cavalier. Hey, Henry, come
okay.
here.
Is that that one? Is that what
Yes,
that
just
is?
one. He's so handsome. Oh
Okay.
my goodness. So that's Henry. Lunar. The one walking behind me is Luna.
Okay.
She is a backyard bred Chihuahua. You want to come here? No. And then I have a potato. She literally looks like a potato. She's a Chihuahua. She's brown and
Okay.
round and doesn't do anything, but she's 13 years old and she just hangs around the house all day and on a blanket or a mat, and she's a happy little camper. But
Living her
I
best
love my
life.
dogs. Yeah, so I kept all of them in the separation. I wouldn't have had it any other way.
Does he need to be, and now let's segue into the type of guy that you might be open to getting to know better. Does
Mhm.
this gentleman need to be, I would imagine he would need to be a bit of a pet enthusiast.
It doesn't have to be enthusiast, just has to be somebody who's not against dogs. And every once in a while, you meet guys who are like, no, I don't want any pets. There's too much responsibility. They're too much of a headache. They're too dirty. They're too expensive. I'm like, okay, well, that's not going to work because my dogs are my family.
I get it. I get
Yeah. But I can't
it.
hate on that. I can't hate on that. All that means is we are on
Not
different
compatible.
wavelengths.
Right.
Not compatible. Not compatible. Because when it comes to determining if somebody's good for a relationship with you, the first thing you have to look at, my grandma taught me this, is you have to look for all the red flags. Look for everything that's wrong
Hmm.
with them up front. Don't focus on how cute they are or how they bought you flowers on your first date. Look for everything that's wrong with them. Because
Yeah.
then you have to ask yourself, is this a deal breaker? And for
Yeah.
me, not tolerating pets is a deal breaker. Um, there are others, if you're not a Harry Potter fan, that's okay. That's okay. I'm not going to judge you for it. But the pet thing is just, that's a no go because I
Right.
will never get rid of my pets. I'm a package deal. I got a daughter and dogs. I got some baggage, and that's okay. My baggage comes on a leash and in a car seat.
Amen. And I totally agree with grandma. She was spot on. I think it's so easy to get caught up in the romanticism of, oh, she's so pretty, and oh, she smells so nice, and she's so sweet, and oh, he's so sexy, and he's ruggedly handsome, and he's so charming, and you miss out on all the signs that, well, she kind of does this thing, and it's aggravating. It's aggravating, but 10 years from now, it's going to drive you mad because she's not going to stop doing that thing. So yeah, I
No,
100% agree. You need to look. It doesn't, and it doesn't necessarily mean to be nitpicky, but just look for signs of incompatibility. Let's
right.
dive a little bit more in depth into this guy who needs to be able to tolerate pets and understand that you've got a baby girl and understand what you do, and you're going to be big on Harry Potter, and he's going to see it or hear something about Harry Potter at least 5 6 7 times a day every day for the rest of his life. Let's talk a little bit more about this guy. Who can you see as that best friend, that dude that you could share the rest of your life with? What's he like?
The first thing that comes to mind is based actually around a song. So, to preface this, my dad is my best friend, and I won't talk too much about him because I'll cry. So, I talk to my dad every day on the phone. I'm a talker, if y'all can't tell. And so, I need somebody who's okay with not necessarily texting all day or having phone calls all day, but staying in touch. Like, I want to know that you're not just stuck in an office all day with your head in a laptop. But the song is called Like My Father, and it's by Jax. And she's the one who sings that song Victoria's Secret, where she basically like narcs out the truth about Victoria's Secret. But this song, Like My Father, is exactly the title. And she's singing about how she wants to come home to roses, and she wants somebody who, when her hair starts to gray, he still says she's beautiful. And when she's not feeling confident about her body, he tells her she looks hot every day. And the whole chorus is, I want somebody who loves me like my father loves my mom. It's literally the
Right.
chorus. And my parents are the most insanely in love couple you've ever met.
Right.
It's incredible, absolutely incredible. You mentioned Star Wars. Their wedding song when they walked into their reception was the Star Wars theme song from the credits. So, but my parents are amazing. They're total opposites, but they make it work. They've told me about the things that they struggled with, the mistakes they've made. I, to this day, have never seen my parents fight in front of me. Not to say that they haven't fought. It's never been done in front of me. Little arguments, sure, but no, nothing of the magnitude that unfortunately my daughter had to experience. So the biggest thing for me is I need to find somebody who is respectful to me and kind to me and sees me like my look at my father seeing my mom.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that
So
from ladies before. They want a guy who looks at them the way that they're either their stepdad or their dad looks at their mom, and I
yeah.
think it's really sweet. What so okay, so you want that type of love. Do you see a certain package when it comes to that person or certain personality type?
I need somebody who knows how to, and I always say this, or women usually say this. They say, I want somebody who makes me laugh. And that's great. I agree with that. But I also want somebody who knows when to be serious. And that's
Yeah,
something that has bothered me when I've been with guys who they're funny. They don't know when to turn it off.
yeah,
Um, I I'm very good at reading audiences. I'm very good at reading people. Comes from that psych degree, but there are situations where being funny is not appropriate.
right,
There's also a difference between being funny and making fun.
right,
My ex-husband was adamant that he was the funniest man on the planet. And I'm like, yeah, you try to be funny, but it's all at somebody else's expense. You don't know how to just
right,
be funny. You know how to make fun of people so that you think it's funny, and maybe one person in the room thinks it's funny too, but it's not funny, it's making fun.
right.
So being able to be funny, say funny little things that make me authentically laugh is great, but knowing when to shut up and be serious is very important too, because I do both. I can turn off my goofball side, and a
Right.
lot of people can't do that, and that's very important to me.
So guys, I'm gonna give you all the good dudes out there. I'm gonna give you like a little secret hack, all right, for making Samantha fall in love with you, okay, and stay in love. All right. So have be able to flip your goof off. All right. So you can be serious when a serious conversation needs to be had, but learn Harry Potter humor. Harry Potter jokes, guys. Learn
Oh
lots of
yeah.
Harry Potter themed jokes. Okay.
Oh
All
yeah,
right.
if you want to melt
Awesome.
my heart, send me a Harry Potter meme or some sort of clip from the movie that's got a little joke on it. Just text it. Don't even have to give a comment or a response, just send it. And that's just like,
All right. We're gonna get ready to wrap up pretty soon. Just a couple more questions. The state of dating, love, and relationships in 2025. I know you haven't been out there like, super long, right? But what are you seeing? What are you hearing now that you're a single lady and you're, getting yourself back out there? What are you hearing and what are you seeing? What are you seeing about the dating scene?
oh my gosh. So the dating apps, I did not realize how horrible they are to men. Like, I posted something on Threads a while back. I think this is what you saw about, I don't understand how guys aren't getting dates off of like Hinge. And they're talking about how they've They've swiped right on hundreds of women and they're not getting any matches. And I'm like, I've had like 10,000 likes between Hinge, Bumble, probably more than that. At one time, I opened one of my apps, there were 7,600 likes sitting in my box.
Hmm.
I'm not going through all those, which means there's 7,600 guys who have shown interest that aren't even getting a first look because I'm
Right.
overwhelmed with it. So apparently, these apps are very good for women because women are
Hmm.
getting attention, but for men, it is.
Uh-oh. We lost her. We'll get her back. Hold tight. So let's talk one on one until Samantha gets back. Dating apps. Hinge, in my opinion, is one of the more, if I was going to use the dating app, if I was dating, then I would be, Hinge is one of the ones that I would actually use. There are some Facebook dating I probably stay away from. Tinder is hit or miss. Samantha, did we get you back?
Yep, I'm back. I don't know what happened, but
Okay,
I'm back.
it's cool.
All the apps, they're
I can't
just.
see you. Is the video coming in? Or okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
So
I
I can
can
wait
see
on
you
the
just
video.
fine.
Okay, okay, go ahead.
No, I can see you.
Okay, the apps. So we were talking about the apps. Go ahead.
The apps, I've deleted them all off my phone. They have now become sales tools. Like I think I saw somebody say the other day that it's like $39 a month for one of the apps just to be able to see all the likes. So when I first started dating my ex-husband, Tinder had just come out. So
Right.
I probably got to use it for a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month. But there was no charge for anything. Now,
Hmm.
8 years later, they charge for everything. There's no free option. And
I didn't know
yeah,
that.
I can see the appeal in that. But what in the world? You shouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's becoming it's more of a sales tactic than a matchmaking tool. Now, there's
Yeah.
always those softwares like Match and eHarmony where you do have to pay, but people go into it knowing there is a membership fee. But because there's a membership fee, you're going to get a higher quality person because they're serious. They're going to pay the $19 a month to
Mhm.
potentially get matched with you. These apps, unfortunately, a lot of them have become affiliated with hookup nature or hookup culture.
Yeah.
And just because you pay doesn't mean you're going to see a higher quality of person on the app. Just means you can
Mhm.
see in advance certain tidbits. That's great.
Right.
So I don't advise anybody pay for apps. You want to do match.com, do it, eHarmony, Christian Mingle, Farmer Wants a Wife, doesn't matter. But these apps don't pay for them. If you're going to
Right.
invest in finding a match, do it on a quality place. Don't do it on an app. It doesn't work. For me, I find more success in out in the wild
Yeah.
because I can hear inflection in their voice. I can get to talk to them. There's no pressure of an app. And I get to dictate if they get my Instagram, if they get my phone number, if they get to reach out to me in the future.
Right.
With apps, it's just they're already talking to you. They can already follow up with you later on. And I like, this is not good. I'm not going to say I like to be in control of the situation, but I like to be able to make a decision of if I get to talk to you again.
Right.
And on an app, you just block them. And that's kind of a beat move.
Or you ignore them and we've lost her again, but we'll get her back. She's resilient and she has determination and she's got a feisty spirit. There she is. So we'll get her back because when she gets knocked down off the Wi-Fi, she gets back up.
I'm right
So
here. No,
I
I
got you.
apologize. This is
You're
why I
good.
don't use my phone for Zooms. It's because
You're
every time I
good.
get a phone call, I get knocked off and everybody keeps calling me. So I sincerely apologize, everyone,
That's
that
quite all
I'm so
right.
popular and people keep calling me, but it is what it is. But the in the wild thing,
Yeah.
I've had nights where I've been approached by half a dozen guys who want to get to know me. And I can see in
Hit
their eyes
This is
If
where. This is where. Like at the grocery store, at the gas station, at a bar, like where are you? Where is this occurring?
Mostly like at bars.
Okay.
I've had one or two approach me in a grocery store. Never had one at a
Hmm.
gas station. But I can see in their eyes, I can tell in their tone of voice when they're talking to me if they're interested in me and want to get to know who I am, or if they just see an attractive female and they go, "Ooh, I want that." No,
Right.
no. So I've gotten good at seeing who cares about the inside, i.e., who I am, and who just wants the outside. That phase of my life is over. Like, I'm too old for that. It's not happening. Not to say I'm looking for Mr. Right at this very moment. I could be just looking for Mr. Right now. But
Hmm.
it's I found a lot more success out in the wild than any dating program. I would say put yourself out there. Put yourself in environments, even if it's something that is not a bar. Let's say you don't drink. Go partake in an improv class. I've met people at my kickboxing class, at my cycling class. Like, go do something that interests you because you're going to find people there who are interested in the same thing, which helps with that compatibility. More of the people who go to the bar are invested in that hookup culture than looking for their next girlfriend.
You're 100. Oh, we know. We know. We we don't go to bars looking for the wife, but you never know. You're at a, we people go to bars. And that's not to say, so it's not to say there's not quality people at bars, but you can be a quality person, not necessarily looking for a quality time. And if you are looking for a quality time, it can be a quality time in the bedroom and not like, hey, I'm looking for my next, person. I'm looking for my forever. Pardon me. So it doesn't mean that they're not good people, they're not quality people, but are they ready for what you're ready for? So what are some of the places where you might go and think what a library maybe, a class, a course like you stated earlier? What about the gym? How would you feel about a guy approaching you at the gym?
So I have a love hate with meeting people at the gym
Me too.
because for me, I go to the gym for something serious to work out. I'm not looking for
Yeah.
somebody at the gym. And the men that I'm attracted to at the gym are there to do the same thing. They are
Yeah.
not looking for a girl. They are looking to work out and get ripped. I'm looking to do the same thing. Now, when I
Right.
find there's certain guys at my gym at 6 o'clock in the morning who they're there for social hour. They might be there at 6 o'clock in the morning, but they are not there to work out because I will see them lift 3 weights in an hour period. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
you're here to chip that. And the men who I have found at the gym who are seeking gym crushes and somebody to hang out with outside the gym, they're also on that spectrum of the bar. They're not looking for at the gym. They're not looking for a girlfriend at the gym. They're looking for somebody to have a good time with because they're in the same physical condition as they are.
Right.
So the gym is okay to find somebody, but at least for me, it's not because I'm serious at the gym, and the guys that I'm attracted to are also serious at the gym. Um, it all happens how it's supposed to. My ex-husband and I, we met at a tanning salon. Not to say that was a bad idea, but that's a place that you wouldn't expect to meet a significant other or somebody you're going to
Right.
spend your life with. Um, you might meet somebody at a gas station. You never know who's going to be behind you in a line at the grocery store. Um, it's just put yourself out there. If you're going to sit on your couch and expect to find somebody, chances are it's not going to happen. Now, not to say
Oh,
it won't, because there's social media these days and you can, post a bunch of reels and tag somebody that you like, which happened to two social media content creators. Love the story of Nassie, if anybody knows about Nassie. But it you can't just sit on your couch and expect to find your perfect match. Like,
right.
it's not impossible, but the likelihood is pretty slim.
I wouldn't recommend the gym because if you know I love my gym and I would never want to put myself in a situation to where it's awkward between me and anyone. And like Samantha said, I go in there to get it and I'm sweaty. and I'm, in there getting it in. I got my headphones on, and I'll wave or speak or nod or whatever, and but that's about it because ladies don't want to be necessarily approached. Now, if you're super hot as a guy, then hey, you get to walk up to any girl, and see, the least you'll get is, "Hey, I'm in a relationship. Sorry," but things tend to. What is it? The difference between flirting and harassment is a hot guy. That's how it goes.
Pretty
So
much. I know that sounds
if
shallow, but it's true. But
it
again,
just
I'm in the
is,
gym to work out. If they're messing up my set,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you're turning me off. I don't care how hot you are.
yeah.
You
You've
just
already
effed
come
up my
off wrong,
set.
right,
No, you hang off to the side till you can clearly see I'm taking a rest. And
right,
then you can try to having a conversation or critiquing me or telling me like that's really heavy, way to go. But unless if you still see me like lifting weights or for oh my god, doing a deadlift, dear God, don't. I
yeah,
lift heavy. I lift heavy. I
right,
do not need you interrupting me when I've got 200 pounds in my hand and I'm trying to
yeah.
keep in form. Like, don't do that. You gonna get hurt and I'm gonna get hurt.
Right. We don't want that. That's not a good love story. Well, it could be a good love story, but we don't want that. We don't
No.
need that. Yeah, we met. Funny story. We met and she went to the hospital, yeah, and she broke her leg and no, we don't need that.
No.
So to the guys out there that may be a little nervous, like I'm in a different age bracket. When I came up, it was what you did. You approached a young lady, you saw something nice, you walked up, "Hey, how you doing?" You get to know her. For the guys that might be, a little bit nervous or uncomfortable about that, or afraid of rejection, or don't necessarily feel like they have the confidence to walk up to a young lady out in the wild, what would you say to them? What advice would you give?
So depending on where you are in the wild, like let's say you're at a bar, the whole go to the bartender and say, "Hey, can you make that girl a drink or whatever she just ordered? Make her another one and put it on my tab." That's huge. Make sure when you tell the bartender if you want her to know who did it or if you don't. Otherwise, the bartender's going to point you out. They're going to rat you out. And some guys just want to they just want to point the girl. They just want to provide the drink to the girl. And if the girl looks around, just kind of give her a look or whatever. Um if they're afraid to approach, for me that's not going to work. I need somebody who's got testicles. Um, but the drink thing is
Wowzers.
always great. I mean, come on. Um,
Wowzers.
I mean, the other thing that it's going to sound dorky that actually works is send somebody over. If you have somebody in your group of friends who's got bigger balls than you do, send them over to me and have them instigate it. Have them play wingman. It works. It works. Whether it be a girl, your wing woman that comes up and says, "Hey, so I've got this friend. He's standing in the corner. He thinks you're really cute, but he's kind of afraid to talk to you because you're so beautiful. Would you come and meet him?" Like to me, that's awesome because one, I just got a compliment. Two, he's not only nervous to talk to me, but he's not too nervous that he's not willing to send somebody over to rep him. That's a big one. I used to have a shirt that said "World's Best Wing Woman," and I would wear that out when I played Wing Woman and it would get conversations going. And I was 9 times out of 10 able to get a conversation going between whatever guy I was out with and some other female. And it's because I had a gray shirt and pink glitter letters that said "World's Best Wing Woman." And it just get the conversation going, even if you have to use somebody else, even if you have to get the bartender to start the conversation. If you're going to be too shy to talk to the girl, it ain't going to work because you can't have a
Right.
silent relationship. It doesn't work like
You're
that.
you're the first person I've ever heard say that. I find it very interesting. I think it's cool. I wouldn't have thought, to me, that it reeks of I'm a scaredy cat, so let me get this other individual to step in for me. But I get what you're saying. It's a way to do it. It's almost like overcoming your fears to the best of your ability. Now, once you get her attention, you're still whoever you are. You're still gonna have to make conversation. Your wingman can't, have because if he's running the conversation, he's gonna steal your girl. So you still got to be
Yeah.
able to hold a conversation. But
Well, here's the
confidence is
secret. I got the secret. Easy.
what's the secret?
If they are too nervous to talk, all they have to do is ask about you. People love talking about themselves,
Not
especially women.
themselves. Absolutely.
Always. It's the topic they're an expert at.
True.
So if you're too nervous to hold a conversation with a young lady, ask her about herself, comment on her outfit, ask her about her drinks that she ordered, ask her about how long just ask her anything. Get her talking
Yep.
because then that's less stuff you got to say.
Correct. And eventually she'll begin to, enough about me. What about you? And then you typically just have to answer her questions as opposed to like randomly attempting to make conversation because not
Right.
everybody's going to be great at that. So I get
Yeah.
it. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. All right. Well,
I'm
we're going to
relatively
wrap
smart.
up. I see that. We appreciate your time, Samantha. You have been great. I want you to give some advice before we get out of here. What advice do you have for the single ladies, the single women out there raising a beautiful baby girl who are on
Yeah.
their own in a successful career and they're looking for their next chapter? What advice would you give to them when it comes to love, dating, relationships, career, mommy raising, being a mommy? What would you want to say?
The first thing you have to do is be okay with being alone. And I don't mean being alone like sitting in your apartment and wallowing in misery. I'm saying be okay with being single. Be okay with being a single mom. Be okay with being invested in your career and that's your focus. Be okay being with yourself first. It's not the end of the world if you don't have a boyfriend. It's not the end of the world if your only focus is your child. It's not the only end of the world if you are dedicated to your career. Because when you love the situation you're in, bringing in something new, such as a relationship, is more natural because they're not filling a void. They're just add on value to the life that you've already established and love and are confident and content with. When you are sad and depressed and miserable and you just, oh my God, I need a boyfriend. Oh my God, I got to find Mr. Right. Oh my God, I'm so alone. Who wants to be with that? And then what happens is once, or if you do get somebody who wants to go into that, it's never going to be fulfilling enough because you weren't happy with the situation you were in. You've got to be happy. They say you've got to love yourself first. It's not just about loving yourself, it's about being happy with where you are. I love where I am. I'm not in a position where I'm like, oh my God, I need a husband. Oh my God. I need right now. I need my daughter, my career, my dogs, and my support units. That's what I need because that is about me and what's best for me. I'm not in a situation where I need a significant other to fulfill my life. And I will never be like that because I know what that ends up happening when all you want is somebody to fill that void. Fill the void on your own. You got this. Come on. You got this.
No one will ever be able to successfully fill that void if you can't fill it yourself. They'll never be able to do it. If you're not happy with yourself, then you'll be dependent upon them to make you happy. It's kind of like going shopping when you're starving and you tend to pick up, stuff that you don't need, stuff that's bad for you, stuff that when you get home, you realize you didn't really want that anyway. The difference is you're dealing with somebody else and their heart and their wants and their needs. And it's tricky. So love yourself first and love where you are and learn to be happy with where you are in life and what you have going on just within yourself, right?
Exactly. You nailed it on the head.
Love it. Thank you so much, Samantha. It has been a pleasure. We're going to get her info. It'll be, if you want to get in contact, you can interact with her through the comments. If you want to email her directly, bwaynepresents@gmail.com. In the meantime, I will try to convince her to give her IG up and put it in my description box so you guys can see how wild and wacky and funny she is for yourselves. It's been a pleasure, Samantha. Thank you so very much.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Talk to you soon.
Sounds good.